Welcome to Coffee with the Sarlos. We are your hosts of the show, Karen and Kelly Sarlo. Whether you're struggling with grief or you just need answers, we connect you with spirit to find relief, clarity, and direction in life. We can help you move forward.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
I have a client story today, and the made-up name for this client is Mike. Mike asks me if I can do medium, and he begins right away by saying, "Can you get a hold of my dad?" And his dad comes in and says to me, he says, "I'm here." And he says, "I know you want validations to start the session, Karen, so I'm here with my dad." And I said, "Okay." And he goes, "Oh boy." I said, "Am I supposed to say, oh boy?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's another validation." He goes, "You can go ahead and say, I'm here with my dad." And dad says, "Oh boy."
Okay.
So I did. I said that to the client, Mike. I said, what his dad told me? And he starts laughing. He goes, "It's very true. My dad would say, oh boy, because grandpa would be coming over." He says, "That's so fitting." And he goes, You can elaborate, you can move on, you can do whatever you need to do." He says, "What does dad want to tell me?" So dad starts describing his father's behavior and how he lived his life. And this is very important. So he describes his dad, so the grandpa, by saying that he was very business oriented, and that the way that he saw life was through business and religion, and that the two went together. And this was very important, that you had to belong to the right religion, and that religion then meant that you had to belong to their groups. So, and the groups were business groups.
Yeah.
And those businesses meant that they all supported each other's businesses, and they kind of got together, I'll say, in strategy to make sure that their businesses thrived better than the other groups. So it became very competitive in their community as to which religion you belong to, because it meant the success or the lack of success for you financially. And so therefore, you had to attend your religious functions. You had to support financially with, I think they call it tithing, but I'm not sure if every religion calls it that, or donations or whatever. But and you had to attend certain events, and you had to go to certain businesses, and whether you needed their services or not. So the higher up that you were in the religion, that meant that people had to come to you even if they didn't need your service, and somehow had to make a donation to it. And so I'm explaining this to Mike, and he goes, "That's my grandfather." And he says, "Can you go on? Dad must be bringing this up for a reason. I trust Dad."
That's cool.
So Dad says, "Absolutely." He says, Grandpa did this and wanted his son, so the dad that's passed over, to follow in his footsteps. It was like, "Well, no, you're going to do the same thing as me. You're going to be in the same religion. You have to be. And you have to run your business. You can't go into work for the government or anybody else. You have to work and own your own business and do as I say." So he very much wanted his son to be under his thumb and to follow life in the same way. Now, Dad describes that this is also how the family was run. So the family is transactional. There is very much a lack of love, a lack of connection. I'll say even affection, even touching and stuff, because he describes the grandfather as very cold emotionally, and that "I will give you attention, I will give you what you need, I will give you the look or the words of praise or the smile when you do what I say." Everything has to be with being complicit, obeying. "And if you don't, then I withhold the things that you need just to be safe, just to feel loved, to feel connected." And so the family runs in this way. Dad decides, I'm not doing that. You can do what you want. I am not doing that. When I leave home, to hell with this system. I'll get out of this town. And I have to get out of this town because the whole town's run this way. So I will go far away from here. And school and education is his ticket out. Because if I can go to a university or a college far away, I am never coming back. I will find my place somewhere else that doesn't follow that system.
I love that education is the ticket out of religion. Like, that's quotable all on its own.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So Dad then describes how he goes to a different city. He meets a woman. He gets his own career. He is in business, by the way. He does become an entrepreneur, but he doesn't want to do it the way that his dad does it, through religion and through these systems. He does it on his own merit. And he raises his son with tons of touch and kissing and hugging and looking at him right in the eye when he's talking to him. He does all of the opposite things that his dad did. He does the same thing for his wife. He listens. He doesn't teach that love is transactional. He doesn't teach that what I do for you, you have to do for me. He doesn't teach that love is a hierarchy, that where I get to control another person, and that's called loving them because I pay the bills and I take care of them. I provide. This idea of protect and provide, bullshit. So he actually teaches connection, communication, negotiation, and he loves to teach negotiation. So I say all of this to Mike, and he goes, man, oh man, have you nailed my dad and my granddad. Go on. So I say to Dad, what else do you want to say about all this? And he goes, the hardest part. He says that I did all of this, and then my dad, Grandpa, tried his hardest to get into my son's life and create a relationship with him, and then try and pull him back into his own community and into his own job through money, through an inheritance, through a big successful business, through reputation, through all of the things that are, I'll say, financially successful. So he dangles all of this in front of his grandson, Mike, in an effort to say, you will be the son that my son never was. And when I say that to Mike, he goes, yeah, this is it. This is why I asked for Dad. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay. I said, do I just go on then? And he goes, yeah, I still want to hear more. So I said to Dad, what else do you want to offer then? And he goes, I just want to tell my son how proud I am of him, that he chose love and connection and negotiation and all the tools I taught him, and what his mom and I truly valued about living a life worth living versus a life to get by through, which is the strictly financial, transactional way of you get by. That's how he called it. And he says, but I also want to say to him that Dad and I are okay on the other side. Dad has understood, Grandpa has understood what he valued and how he behaved and how he continued to manipulate and tried to destroy the relationship with my own son so that he could have the quote-unquote son or grandson that he always wanted to have, because he didn't intend to leave any of that to me in his will because I wasn't obedient. And he said, I want him to know that Grandpa and I have sorted through that Grandpa understands what he did, and that he has apologized to me for the things, for my relationship with him, and for what he tried to do through you as my child. So I say all of this to Mike, and he goes, that's what I came for. He goes, I really had a desire to hear that Grandpa was doing better on the other side, and understanding that that wasn't healthy. He said, and I wanted to know that Dad and Grandpa were okay. This was something I needed to hear today. He says, I was looking for this. And he goes, because ultimately, I want to love both men. He goes, ultimately, I want to know when I cross over that it's okay for me to greet both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know that Dad won't be hurt if I talk to Grandpa. And he goes, but I don't want the old Grandpa that I had either. And because that would be hurtful to Dad. A healthier, healed Grandpa would not hurt Dad. We would all be able to be on the same page. And I said, well, they're there. Did this session provide that for you? And he said, absolutely. He said, and I needed to hear it from Dad, because had I asked you to channel Grandpa, I was afraid that Grandpa would not have changed and would have continued to lie to me and manipulate me. So I needed to ask for my dad to hear that Grandpa had changed, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, he's figuring out how he can trust, which is fascinating.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then, like, we come to the close of the session here because this is actually his ultimate purpose, is to figure out, do we change on the other side? Do we get reconciliation with the people that hurt us? Do we actually do our healing through that process? And does the other person actually mean it? Or is it just further manipulation? And we have to continue to deal with that when we die too. And so he was like, I just wanted to know that when I die, I can relax. He goes, I didn't want to have to fear dying, to fear that confrontation or that situation again.
That's lovely. Thank you for listening to Coffee with the Sarlos. If you enjoyed the show today, please be sure to subscribe on your podcast platform and leave a review. New shows will air every other Saturday.